Let's talk about it, man. It's the greatest YouTuber to ever exist. Apex Sapien. Ask your mama, ask your daddy, ask your grandma. They all gonna tell you the same thing. I'm the best to ever do it, will do it, and can do it because I do it more than anybody else. And we need to talk about Andrew Huberman out here optimizing the ladies. He wasn't just in the lab getting physically fit. He was out here in the bed getting physically right, laying down the nightstick on a whole bunch of ladies. So anyway, Huberman got caught up with like 6 or 7 different women. He was based on the Tiger Woods diet of slamming as many as he can get in and optimizing his sex game. And this leads to a very interesting question because as I read more into the situation, I like to take some time to read into these things because I don't want to just be talking out my ass. I like to learn about the situation, what's going on. And apparently, he had a old lady that was his girlfriend, that was his girlfriend a long time, and she couldn't get pregnant. So they did a bunch of different rounds of in vitro. He tried the best he could do. He tried to optimize her womb, and sadly, there was no baby to be made from it. So it led to an interesting question, and I think a lot of men might kind of think about this question along with themselves: is what can you do, or what are your options if your lady can't have a child and you're a man who wants to have a kid? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. And the king of the optimization had to make a choice. He made a decision. And what he decided to do is, look, I love you, baby. I want to keep us together, but man, I gotta get out here and slay, man. I got things to do. I'm out here cocksmithing, and they paying for it. I wonder was he getting paid? I wonder what these ladies paying him, or he just running game. I'm very interested. But I mean, as a man, you gotta think, what would you do in that particular situation? If you tried multiple attempts, you're putting money into this, and you can't get a child out your girl, and you start to realize, damn, I'm a 40-plus-year-old man. Even if I become a father, by the time the kid's a teen, they're gonna be 60. I can't have multiple kids. So how would you like to spend the rest of your days, man? Because I think most guys they would like to have a companion. And if you got a companion, one of the sad truths of relationships is if you really love your girl and you get to the point where like you guys have been together, she becomes like your best friend and all this other stuff. At a certain point in time, most men are going to want to have to get some side, especially if you don't have kids, because usually the kids will fulfill your time. So if you're a hard working dude and you got kids and you got a wife, you don't really got time to get out there and go get side. It's too much. It's too much work, and it's not fully optimization for your life. So Huberman's looking like, dude, I'm rich, I'm jacked, I'm handsome, I got a beard. Fuck it, man. That's going to Tiger Woods diet. Let's just see how many we can keep up with. And so Huberman did what most guys would do in his situation, which is he went out in the streets and started getting him some ladies. And apparently these ladies thought that like he was going to be their guy. And it brings the question, which is a better question to kind of think about, is how many women is too many? Like everybody talks about, oh, I got hoes, I got all these girls, I got all these bitches. But when you really stop and think about it, how many is too many? Because one of the things I've come to understand is like once you kind of get a shawty that's locked in with you and you guys are kind of building and you're doing your empire thing, it's hard just to maintain her. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work just for one lady. Like I'm starting to think monogamy might be the most optimal solution because having more than one like wife, you're dealing with a lot of it's not just twice the headache. You're dealing like exponentially greater headaches because two of these girls they all got their intricacies. They team up on you like it's like almost exponentially twice the problems. So if you got two, it's really like you're dealing with 4 women. If you got 3, it's really like you're dealing with 9. Because all women got like split personalities. They all got all these different things. They crazy. All women are crazy. Don't ever let anybody tell you, oh, don't deal with crazy women. Listen, they all crazy. Even the most sounded mind with the mind right, that's good. She's going to be crazy. You know why she's going to be crazy? Because she's crazy over you. Any woman that's really, really into you is going to be crazy. She wants to be in you. She wants to be in your mind. She wants to just always have you around 24/7, like 365. You can't get her off of you. And so if you bring another girl into the tandem, now you're dealing with 2 girls competing, trying to get one up leg on each other, both trying to vie for your attention. You only got so much attention a day, like the 80-20 principle. So now that 20% of life that you guys spend to help your girl out, now you guys split that between 2 different women, and then they're mad because they want to get equal, and there's no such thing as equal, and you just dig yourself into a whole problem. So Huberman's like, look, I got my main course here. I got my shawty that we tried to get the baby. They ain't working out. So let me go ahead and like play around with like these 6 others to kind of keep it fresh for myself so I can kind of preoccupy myself. because I don't have kids and I'm already rich and I'm making passive income and my life is already set beyond set. But I have nobody to pass it down to. So let me just have some fun while I'm here. And that's a good question because it's like, man, Patrice had a great line where he was saying like, it's much easier to have 8 different girls that you don't really care about that you kind of just spinning plates with than to have one that's solid. Because the one that's solid is like the one you got to really think about consistently because she's on your ass all day, every day. The other ones, you can kind of send them off in a way, you stick them, move them, send them off in their way. They go do what they do. You do what you do. You meet up and whatever the hell goes on. And you can just live life. But the one that's really locked in, it's like, man, dudes be going through. It's like, bro, I got to think of her anniversary. I got to think of her birthday, Valentine's, Christmas, her parents' birthday. And then if you add kids to it, man, now she don't even care about you no more. The true priority is the kids, and you got to try to convince her that you still the priority. You just run into a whole host of dilemmas when you're dealing with a real girl that you locked in with. So Huberman is like, look, man, I'm just going to see how many I can spend for the time being. He was on that Tiger Woods diet. And the best thing about Huberman, I don't think he even issued an apology or nothing like that. He's like, man, it is what it is. This is how I'm just moving. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And it brings into another question. Do y'all think Huberman was lying? Or these women were just deluding themselves into believing that they can be the one for him? Because apparently a lot of these women are like kind of in their 30s, late 20s, maybe mid 30s, and they were kind of thinking like, I'm going to be able to get him. He'll be my man. I'll lock him down. Only to find out they're one of like 6 or 7. And I start to think, okay, let's be real about this. Were these women selling themselves a dream, or was Huberman selling the dream? Or were women deluding themselves into the dream? Like, which one is the more likely case? Because I think the more likely case was Huberman was probably kept his mouth quiet about it. He kind of just was sticking and moving. I'll take you out to trips, meet up with you, and I'll spend a little bit of money on you, send you on your way. And these girls like, oh my God, I got the man, Andrew Huberman. Like, he's the guy. He's this big ripped guy. He has successful. He has a beard. He's jacked. And I think this is my final ditch effort, which is a cold piece of work to do to a woman. Like, you don't want women. Look, let me tell you something about the 30-year-olds in the late 20s when they're trying to basically beat the shot clock. You don't want to be giving them any ideas of delusion of grandeur or hope, because that shit will backfire on your ass, and then you end up on the New York Times trying to explain yourself like what the fuck happened. And that's kind of what Huberman is kind of going through. He's like, man, I didn't tell these girls nothing, man. Like he probably kept it quiet, kept it G, and didn't acknowledge it. But chances are, he didn't say, look, this is just what I'm doing. I'm just a cocksmith. I'm just out here digging and moving. I'm not trying to do no long term. I already got a shorty. We trying to do the kid thing. The kid thing ain't working out like I wanted it to. So look, baby, just enjoy the matrix, like Patrice said. Enjoy the matrix. Don't dig too deep into the weeds. Just enjoy the matrix. Enjoy what you see, and don't go further than that. Because when you start getting past that line of demarcation, that horizon of the real, you're not gonna like what you see, girl. You're not gonna like what you see. And see, I think that's what most women need to start to understand when it comes to men. Is like, if you want to be a man's true like wife, you really want to deal with the man, you have to accept this man for what he is. Like, you got to go past. You can't look at the surface area. You can't marry the surface guy. You got to marry the back end nigga, the guy that's in the mailroom. You can't look at the diplomatic, suited up, trimmed up face and presentable. No, you can't look at that guy. You got to look at the nigga who's in the back room with the boxes, putting shit out. Man, fuck this. Like, you gotta fall in love with the locker room dude. And see, a lot of women have a tough time with falling in love with the locker room dude because it's too raw. It's way too raw. It's way too primal. It's way too real. It's way too brutal. And women don't do a very good job when it comes to brutality of life, unless they want to be locked in with the husband. But here's the thing: you gotta understand, if you lock in with a husband, it's a long-term play. Because as you get to stay with them and grow, you begin to understand why he has that backroom dude, and why he has to put the surface guy out there. So I think Huberman was probably coming with the surface level dude. Like, I'm Dr. Andrew Huberman said to me, like, man, I'm just an ape. I'm just a mad, pissed off ape that's tatted up, pissed off, can't have no kids, frustrated. My girl, we tried in vitro 47 times, shit ain't working. I try to have some kids, can't even have no goddamn kids. I can't be cold-hearted enough because we've been rocking with each other for so long to go give me a little young shake and shoot a load in. And he just pissed off because he's like, man, I'm frustrated. Because every day that I wait is another day I don't have a kid, and she's getting frustrated. She feels like a failure because the kid can't come out through her womb, and she just wanted to give me a kid. And he's going through it, like most niggas. Listen, let me tell you something about men. Every man is going through it. We all going through it. whether we show it or not, we all going through. We all got shit that we dealing with that we just tired of, and we annoyed with, and we pissed off. And unless you are a girl, you're not gonna understand the frustration because you're not with us, locked into the game. And I think a lot of those women, if they understood who Huberman really was, they would not want no piece of this man because they see the lifestyle, but they don't see the back end work. And this is the greater topic for most women to understand. Is like the back end work of a man is that's where he gets built. That's where you get to see the production of the front end. But the back end is where you can be kind of kicking it in the mailroom with him, not this front presentation. And most of the girls that he goes on a date, they see the front presentation. Back end, nigga, that's the one you're not trying to deal with. That's the real one. That's the real guy. So Huberman, yeah, he's out here. He's I don't think he's gonna be in too much trouble. A lot of these girls could probably be mad because they find out like kind of like he lied to me, or he probably didn't lie, but he's like, girl, I probably told you, you didn't listen. You were too in love. You fall in love with the front end. And yeah, he got his Tiger Woods on. So I'm proud of him, man. Good job for you, brother. That's a win for the city boys, and a win for men everywhere else in the world.